Okay, great. Welcome. Hello. If you're just tuning in, then yeah, welcome to yoga at the London Buddhist Centre. So my name's Anna, and I'll be teaching today's class. And we've got Polly, who is doing the tech today, and then I've also got Shradagita practicing today, which is really, really exciting. That's really, really nice. So yeah, welcome if you're just tuning in. If you've been before, then you'll know that we like it when you say hello, because it makes it feel a little bit more like a traditional yoga class. And yeah, we'd like to know where you're tuning in from, and if it's your first time. So yeah, do let us know in the live chat if you like.
Gauravabati's in the garden.
Oh, hello Gauravabati. Good to know that you're joining us, and yeah, it is such a joy to do yoga outside. So yeah, it's definitely the perfect weather for it at the moment. Yeah, lovely sunny day, sunny and warm day.
Michelle's also in the garden.
Oh, hello Michelle. Yeah, so nice to know that you're joining us from your garden. Yeah, that's really lovely.
And we have Harvey as well.
Oh, hello Harvey. Yeah, welcome everybody. Yeah, so we'll start in a couple of minutes. I'll just say a couple of things while we're waiting. So we've got yoga today, and then we'll have the weekend with no body work. So no yoga, no qigong. But then from Monday, we'll be running a home retreat, which is really exciting. And the body work will stay at the same time, and it will actually run from Monday to Saturday next week as part of the home retreat. So after the class, if you haven't signed up already, then I'd recommend that you go online and sign up for our home retreat. It's being run on a donation basis, and it's going to include lots and lots of amazing events. So we'll have yoga and qigong at lunchtimes, and there'll also be morning meditations on Zoom. There'll be mid-morning sessions, afternoon sessions, and extended evening sessions as well. So yeah, really, really looking forward to that, and really recommend that you sign up if you haven't already. And yeah, do follow us on social media as well. So we're at LDM Buddhist on Twitter and Instagram, and London Buddhist Centre on Facebook. So yeah, lots of things to think about. So you can do all that after the class, but for now, just settling in your space. And yeah, we'll make a start in just a moment. Is there anyone else saying hello?
Vidyadhaka.
Oh. Hi Vidyadhaka. Oh, it's so good that you keep joining us. It's really, really great. Yeah, welcome. Okay, so yeah, I think we're going to make a start now. So thanks for tuning in, and yeah, welcome to yoga at the LBC. So it's really great to know that you're tuning in. Some of you might be tuning in for the first time, and some of you I know have been tuning in throughout this period that we've been offering online classes. So today we've got Polly doing the tech, so she's looking after the filming and the YouTube comments, and then I've actually also got Shradagita here with me practicing at a safe distance, of course. And so yeah, it's really, really nice to have another practitioner, and actually one of the other yoga teachers here practicing. So thank you, Shradagita. So yeah, today we're going to be focusing on postures and sort of exercises that are designed to sort of settle and ground our energies. So yeah, at the moment, there's a lot in our lives that are kind of in flux and maybe even in turmoil. And one of the nice things that or the important things that yoga and meditation can sort of offer is just a bit of space, an opportunity to create a bit of space, to connect with the ground, to connect with what is present, what is actually here in our experience. So we can do that through working with our breath, through working with particular physical postures, and then also just working with the mind. So what I'll encourage you to do is just to keep redirecting the attention into the body, and particularly into the connection between your body and the ground. So the ground, it's holding us. We're always in relationship to the ground beneath us, and I think there's something quite poetic about just before the Buddha became enlightened. These sort of forces of evil came up as he sat in meditation under the Bodhi tree, and challenged his will towards enlightenment. So they sort of said, "Who are you to sit and gain enlightenment?" And he just reached down to the ground and touched the earth with his right hand, and said something like, I call the earth as my witness, to witness my right to enlightenment. And I just think there's something really poetic in that myth, and I think it just serves as a reminder to kind of honour our connection to the ground, honour our connection to what's holding us, to what's holding all of us. So we'll start with a short seated meditation. So just go ahead and set yourself up in a posture that is comfortable for you. And really, encouraging you to tune into that connection between the body and whatever is supporting you. So we're always in relationship with the support beneath us. Just feeling the points of contact between the body and the ground in whatever position you've chosen. And closing your eyes. And as you feel the ground beneath you, perhaps the rooting through your sitting bones, from there, can you imaginatively start to grow upwards as though the crown of the head were reaching up towards the sky? So as though you were rooting down in order to rise up. So you get this sense of taking up a little bit more space, like the trunk of a tree that rises up. It's rooting down and rising up. And if that image is resonating, then you can stay with that. You might just like to imagine a tree. You might like to imagine yourself sitting under a tree. And just this sense of rooting down and rising up and expanding out. Or you may just want to stay with the physical sensation of body in contact with whatever is supporting it. And then keeping your eyes closed, if you can, and with as little disturbance as possible, just make your way down onto your back with the soles of your feet down flat. And so it's almost as though you're sort of surrendering down towards the ground. So just making your way down onto the ground. Just lay yourself down, but keep the soles of the feet down. And really spread the feet into the ground. Yeah, so you can feel the spaces between the toes. And it's really like you're fanning the feet out. And really feeling the points of contact between the feet and the ground as you press them down. And then just notice if in pressing the feet down, you start to feel tension or a kind of gripping, well, anywhere in the body. It might manifest in your shoulders or your jaw. So then seeing if you can relax the effort but keep this sense of rootedness. And then again, just keeping the feet pressing down, just gently sway the knees a little from side to side. So just moving them a little one way and then the other. And then find stillness, so a place where the knees are more or less in line with the ankles. And then just lift your toes up so that you're pressing the balls of the feet down, pressing the heels down, toes lift. And then one by one, replace the toes down, press the balls of the feet down and lift your heels up. And then just take the heels down. Press the balls of the feet down, but lift the toes up. Spread the toes. And then toes come down, space between the toes. And then balls of the feet press down, but the heels lift up. And just take a few more of those. So lifting the toes, spreading the toes. So the balls of the feet stay down throughout. And then fanning the toes out, press the balls of the feet down, lift the heels. And then just one more like that. So heels, press down, balls of feet press down, toes, lift up, spread the toes. And then toes come down, heels lift up. Good. And then everything comes down, so soles of the feet all the way back down. And just, you might want to close your eyes if they aren't already closed and just feel into it and let the weight of the body drop down. Yeah, so relaxing the legs, but feeling the points of contact between the feet and the ground. Good. And then from there, we'll just shift the awareness into the hands. So let's turn the palms up so that the palms are facing the sky or the ceiling, and spread the hands out so the fingertips are reaching away from the body. So take a breath in like this, so palms are open. And then as you breathe out, just flip the palms so that your palms are pressing down into the ground. Again, the fingers are spread wide. And then again, as you breathe in, palms face up, spread the fingers out. And then breathe out, flip the palms and press the palms down into the ground. And just take a few more like that. And we're really looking to find that balance between effort and ease. So you might find that you're trying really, really hard to like really press the hands down. And in so doing, you're introducing tension into your shoulders, the backs of your arms, or the back of your neck. So just see if you can find a place that is where you can feel the ground beneath you, but you're not overdoing it. So it's the last little thing we'll do on our backs, and then we'll start to move. So just see if you can stay with it for a moment longer. Good, and then just pause with the palms of the hands facing up. Collarbones nice and broad. And then one by one, bring the knees into the chest. And give the knees a little squeeze. And then lift the head and shoulders up so that you're in a little ball shape. And you're really feeling the spine sort of imprinting onto the mat. Good, and then take the hands to the backs of the thighs. And you're going to rock a little bit along the length of the spine. If that doesn't work on your body, if that doesn't feel very good, then just roll over to one side. But we're going to meet on our hands and knees. And from hands and knees, come into child's pose. So big toes together, hips go back, forehead comes down to the ground. And as you reach your hands forwards, again, spread the fingers. So find that space between the fingers. Press the hands down into the ground. Good, and then from that, come up to your hands and knees. Again, really feel the pressing of the hands down into the floor. And then we're going to hold in a cat pose from here. So round the spine, relax the head, and pause here. So your spine is flexed, the belly draws in, the head relaxes. And then we'll do the opposite. So a few breaths in a cat pose. So lift, cow pose even, lift the tailbone, drop the belly. Heart's going to extend forwards. And here, it's as though you're imagining that your hands are sliding back a little bit towards your feet. And then find a neutral spine. Keep that contact between the hands and your mat. Tuck your toes. And make your way up into downward facing dog from there. So lifting the tailbone up and back. Again, spread the fingers out wide, and then you might like to pedal out the legs, so just bending into one knee, then the other. And just making sure that your head is nice and relaxed. And really feeling that contact between your hands and the ground, and your feet and the ground as well. Good. And then when you're ready, just walk the feet a little bit further back and rock your way forwards, come into a plank pose from there. Again, pressing the hands a little bit forwards, a little bit down. Good, and then knees come down to the ground. Lower yourself all the way down. Keep the hands underneath your shoulders, so hands still pressed down, root down through the tops of your feet. And then lift the chest, come into a low cobra. And we'll pause here. So rooting down through the pubic bone, the hands, the tops of the feet, but lifting the chest, the spine up, away from the ground. And then from here, take a breath in, looking forwards. And then as you breathe out, look over your right shoulder and draw the head of the right shoulder slightly back. And then breathe in to come through center. And breathe out, other way, over to the left. Good, and then one more time. So inhale through center, exhaling to the left, to the right, and then breathing in at center, and breathing out to the left. Good, and then into center, breathe in, and lower all the way down to the ground. Pause there. Good, and then tuck your toes. And make your way back into a downward facing dog. Good, and this time in your downward facing dog, see if you can press the balls of your feet down, but lift your toes up. So even if your heels are off the ground, that's fine. But just see if you can lift the toes up. So you're really pressing the balls of the feet down. And then spread the toes out and replace the toes back down. Soften the heels back and down as well. Good, and then rock high onto the tip toes and walk your feet forwards. So you come to a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Soften your knees. And then just rock the weight slightly forward, slightly back. You might want to take hold of your elbows here, just relaxing the head. Good. And then before we come up to standing, we're going to come into a squat position. So feet around hip distance apart. Release your fingertips down to the ground and then turn your toes out a little bit so they're on a sort of 45-degree angle. And then bend your knees, sit down, but keep your bottom hovering off the floor. And then take your elbows into the insides of the knees, palms together in front of the chest. So your heels might be lifting, and that's fine. If you've got a block, you can put a block underneath your heels, or maybe rolled up blanket or something, or just keep the heels hovering. It's okay. And then wherever you are, try and press the elbows out against the knees, and press the knees in towards the elbows. Then lift the chest. Good, and then fingertips down to the ground, come back into the forward fold and point the feet forwards again. Good, and then this time softening the knees, press the feet down into the ground, roll yourselves up towards standing. Good, and then just step to the front of your mat if you're not there already. Your feet can be hip distance apart or a little bit closer. And then just soften your knees and rock a little bit forwards and back so that you can really feel just feel what's going on in the feet. So we've got something like 26 bones in the feet, something like that. So you might want to close your eyes and just feel that changing contact there. And then you can lean a little bit to your right and then to your left, so you come onto the inner and outer blades of your feet. So keep the knees soft. And then come to center. Lift your toes up and then spread the toes out wide. And one by one, replace the toes back down. And then close your eyes. And again, imagining that sense of rooting down into the ground. And then rising up away from that. So you might want to bring to mind that image of the tree once again. Good. And then we'll take some sun salutations from here with a straight leg lunge. So when you're ready, take your arms up over the head, circle the arms up, breathe in. And then bend the knees a little bit and lower all the way to the ground. So come into a forward fold. Look forwards as you breathe in, and then step your right foot back, long down the mat. Stay on the fingertips. Draw the chest forwards as you breathe in, so that back thigh is nice and strong. And then plant your hands and step into a plank from there. We'll take a couple of breaths here, so press the hands into the ground. You might want to rock right up onto the tiptoes and then press the heels back. Try to keep drawing the belly in. Good. And then rock forwards, take the knees to the ground, and lower all the way down. Hands under shoulders. Press the tops of the feet down, lift up the chest, look forwards, low cobra, and then slowly lowering all the way down to the ground. Plant the hands, tuck the toes, and draw back into downward facing dog. So again, spreading your fingers out wide, feeling the points of contact between body and ground. And you might want to do the same thing that we did last time, lifting up the toes. So it might feel a bit unusual or a bit uncomfortable, but you might want to give it a go. So lifting the toes, pressing the balls of the feet down, and then seeing if you can imaginatively draw the feet away from each other. So they won't actually move, but you might feel it a little bit in the outer hips if you try that. Good, and then look forwards, bend your knees, And then step the right foot through to between your hands, come onto your fingertips, firm up the back thigh, look forwards, and then step the left foot alongside the right. Relax the head. Good. Look forwards as you breathe in, so straighten the spine, and then bend the knees and fold. So as you come up to standing, press the feet down into the ground to lift the chest, lift the arms, and then take the hands together in front of the chest. Good. So second side, circle the arms up, take a breath in, and then bend the knees and fold, fingertips come down to the ground. Look forward, straighten the spine, and then step the left foot back, long down the mat, high on the ball of the back foot. Look forwards, firm up that back thigh, and then plant your hands. And again, step into a plank position from there. So you can stay where you are, or you might want to try coming onto the outer edges of your feet. So you're just going to tilt, well, it'll be the inner edge of one foot and the outer edge of the other. So you tilt your heels over towards the right, and then you come through center and tilt the heels over to the left. Make sure you're still breathing. Nice work, Shadagita. Very good. Okay, and then coming through center, make sure you've done equal number on both sides. Rock high up onto the tiptoes. Take the knees to the ground. Well done. Lower all the way to the ground. Okay. So again, lift the chest. You might want to come into a slightly higher cobra this time. So wherever you are, try and tuck the elbows in and really feel that action of hands sliding back, chest moving forwards. Everything that's in contact with the ground, press it down. And then from there, coming through hands and knees, tuck your toes, and drawing back into downward facing dog. Breathing here. Fingers spreading wide. Again, you might want to play with that lifting toes, press balls of feet down, and then replacing the toes, heels nice and heavy. Knees, step the left foot forwards, right leg nice and strong, high on the fingertips, and then stepping the right foot alongside the left, forward fold, relax the head. Good. At this time, we'll come into Utkatasana. So bend the knees, sit low, and lift your arms up. And we'll pause here. So really tuning into that connection between feet and ground, spreading the toes out, weight through the heels. And then you might just want to experiment by bending the knees a little bit more. And then straightening the knees. And bending them again. And straightening them. And bending them. Good. And then come back into a forward fold. Relax the head. Take a breath. Okay, so now we're going to do a slightly unusual transition. So we'll start the same way in a chair pose, this time the feet together if they weren't already. And then the next pose we're going to do is Navasana boat pose. So we're going to come through a sort of seated squat. Just have a go. So bend your knees, sit low, lift your arms up. Good, and then this time, rock the weight forwards and come onto the balls of the feet. Squeeze the heels in. Good, and then lower yourself down, like you're coming into a little crouch. You can separate the knees, fingertips come down, and then sit all the way down. Well done, bring the knees into the chest. So your hands can stay supporting on the backs of the knees, or you can reach your arms forwards from here. Yet wherever you are, try and keep that sense of lengthening, so feeling the groundedness through the sitting bones, but a sense of lengthening up through the crown of the head. Try and draw the knees as close in towards the body as you can. Are you still breathing? Good. Lovely. And then from there, cross your ankles so you're still sort of tucked in. Hands come down to the ground. Good. And then step back. You can either go straight to downward facing dog or come through plank. You can take the knees down or you can lower halfway to the ground. You might want to come up into a upward facing dog from there. And then we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Just feeling the breath. Okay, so we'll take a couple of standing postures from here. Look forwards and step the right foot through to between your hands. Spin on the ball of the back foot and come into warrior two from there. So your back, the outer edge of your back foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. Your front toes are pointing forwards, arms reaching forwards and back. Look over your front middle finger. Bend your front knee and draw your front knee a little bit out towards the right-hand side of your mat. And then see if you can really sit low into the pose. Good. And then keep pressing into that outer edge of that back foot. Take the back hand down onto your back thigh, flip the front palm and reach up. Press the front shin forwards. Lean back. You might be looking up at the sky. Good, and then make your way through that warrior two, and this time so the left long edge of your mat. And then rotate the chest around towards the sky. You might have the room to take that bottom hand down towards the ground. Keep breathing. Good, and then wherever you are, press into both of your feet. Come all the way up, straighten your front leg. Take the hands onto your hips, and then turn your right toes in. So both of your feet are parallel with the short edges of your mat. Soften your knees a little bit, and then between sides, we'll do a forward fold. So take a breath in, lift the chest, press the feet down. And then as you breathe out, hinge at your hips and fold forwards. Take your fingertips down towards the ground. Try and keep a sense of lengthening through the sides of your waist here. And then fold all the way forwards. So your hands, they might come down to the floor, they might not. If they don't reach the floor, then you can take blocks underneath them, or you can hold onto the edge of the sofa or something. And just here, really feeling that contact between outer edges of the feet and the ground, but also pressing the ball of the foot, so the big toe side of the foot, down as well. Good, and then take your hands onto your hips and slowly coming all the way up. And then we'll take that set of standing postures on the left-hand side. So turn your left toes out and bend your left knee. You might like to adjust the stance. You might need to adjust the stance, step the feet slightly wider apart. And then lift your arms out to the sides. Look over your left middle finger. And I mean, there's different ways to think about these postures or this posture, but one of the things you might like to do is imagine that you're trying to fold the mat between your 2 feet. So you'll get a bit of an action through that front heel and through the back foot, through the outer edge of the back foot. You might feel the legs engage a little bit more. Good, and then your right hand comes down to your right leg, just rests there. Your left arm reaches over and up into reverse warrior, but keep bending into that front knee. Very nice, Shredder Gita. Lovely. I've got the model student here. It's great. Okay, and then from here, we'll come into Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. So left forearm to left thigh. Right arm reaches over and up. And then seeing if you can press that left sitting bone towards the long edge of your mat. So the, I guess now it's the right side of your mat. And then from there, rotate the belly, the ribs, the chest around towards the sky. And you might sneak that left hand down to the ground. Good. And then wherever you are, just slowly coming all the way back up. Straighten both your legs, take the hands onto your hips. Good. And turn your left toes in. So we'll start the same way and then we'll take a twist from there. So hands on hips, breath in, lengthen the spine. And then as you breathe out, folding forwards, take your hands down towards the ground. Soften your knees if you need to. So try not to jam your kneecaps back, so especially if you're getting kind of pain. So keep a softness and ease through the knees. And then let's take the left hand so that it's right underneath the nose. Press the left hand into the ground. And then rotate the chest around towards the right. You can reach the right arm up, or for a bit more stability, you can take the right hand onto your lower back with the fingertips pointing away from your back. And then you can use that arm to help rotate the chest around a little bit more towards the right hand side. The gaze can follow, or you can let the head go. And so there's no point introducing unnecessary tension on the neck. And you might find that with the breath, if you work with the breath, it can help you find a little bit more movement, a little bit more rotation. And so on your exhalations, just turning the chest around a little bit more. Good, and then everybody look down. And then replace your hands. So replace the right hand for the left hand for the right. Rotate the chest around towards the left hand side. And then left hand can either come to your sacrum, to the very bottom of your back, or you can reach it up towards the ceiling. But really have this sense of pressing that bottom hand down into the ground, pressing your feet down into the ground as you rotate the chest around towards the ceiling. And keep firm through both of the legs, through the feet. And then again, as you stay here, you can work with the breath to help you find a little bit more space. Good, and then everybody looking down. 2 hands come down. And then hands on your hips, soften your knees. Come all the way up to standing. And then just bring your feet together. We'll take one balancing posture and then come all the way down to the ground. Okay? So I've talked about trees a fair amount, so we're going to do tree posture. With an optional extra side bend. Okay? You might want to be near a wall for support or another person. You can even hold hands if you like, if you live with them. So let's shift the weight into your right foot and draw the left knee into your chest, but don't catch a hold of it. In fact, bring the palms together in front of the chest. And then turn your right knee out towards the right. And then take the sole of your foot. It's the left foot that's lifted, right? Yeah, is it the left foot that's up? Yeah. Let's take the sole of the left foot down onto somewhere along the inseam of your right leg. And you might want to reach down and take a hold of the ankle now and place the foot a little bit higher. Good, and then you can stay here, or you can reach your arms up over your head if you feel stable, so the gaze is steady. Yeah, and then if you feel very, very steady, you can release your left hand down towards your left knee with the palm facing forwards, so facing away from you. And then start to lean to the left, so you come into a little side bend, like a tree sort of blowing in the wind. And if you wobble, you fall, that's really okay. Good, and then slowly coming all the way back up. Well done. Knee comes into chest, so left knee into chest. And then everything comes down. So arms come down, feet come down. Just feel your two legs. They might feel quite different from one another. I know mine do. And then we'll take the second side. So just shifting your weight into your other foot. I think it's your left foot. Right knee comes into the chest. Good. Hands together in front of the chest. And then just turn the knee out towards the side. So we're really using the strength of the leg to come into the posture. Sole of the foot comes towards the inner inseam of your left leg. And then you might want to reach down, take a hold of that ankle. The sole of the foot can come all the way up towards the inner thigh. Gaze is nice and steady. And if you feel stable here, arms can reach up. So keep pressing that left foot down into the ground. Right hand can lower down towards the front of your right knee. And then you can start to lean a little bit over towards the right. So kind of like a ballerina or something. And you might like to try leaning a little bit further than is comfortable for you. So sort of testing the edges of your comfort zone. Because really, what's the worst that can happen? Is that you fall over, you put your foot down. That's fine. So leaning over, just seeing what happens. Yep. And then let's take the right knee in towards the chest. And then everything comes down. Just stand in mountain pose or some version of mountain pose. For a moment, you can close your eyes. Just feel your two legs. You might want to shake your left leg out a little bit. Good. And then you might just like to come back to that image of the tree one more time. So feeling the spread of the toes. And then the sense of growing up from the ground. Good. And then one more time, we'll come into a Malasana squat pose from there. So turn your toes out once again to 45 degrees. And then bend your knees out to the sides. Come all the way down into a little squat. So again, you can use any props that help you find a bit of ease here. Palms can come together in front of the chest. So the heels might be lifted, they might be supported. And then again, press the elbows out, press the knees in. And then this time, take your right hand, straighten your right hand, fingertips come down to the ground. And up, so it's an open, well, another side bend. Come through center, hands together in front of the chest. And then straighten your left arm, reach the right arm up, and then lean to your left. Look up. Good. And then come through center, a moment in Malasana. Good. And then fingers down to the ground. Any way you like, sit down. Good. Okay. And then we're going to make our way back down to the ground. The soles of the feet down flat. And then reach your arms out in front of you. And imagine that you're kind of draping the spine down really slowly. So as you coil down, you're really reaching the fingertips forwards. It's like you're trying to resist gravity as you lower. And then when you get there, down to your back. And you might just want to rest your hands on the front of your body, so you can perhaps take one hand on top of the other at your belly, or you can take one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. And then a couple of options to close, so the last posture. So you can either shuffle your feet out to mat distance apart and let the knees come together, so touch the knees together. Or you can shuffle the feet together and then come onto the outer blades of the feet. Take the knees out wide so you come into a version of a reclined butterfly. Or if there's any other way that you'd like to close your practice, then of course feel free. But wherever you are, seeing if you can allow yourself to be held by the earth, as though you were resting in the lap of the earth. And if you're feeling very comfortable, then you can stay as you are. Or you can release the arms out, slide the legs out long, come into Shavasana. Or if you'd like to close with a short meditation, then you can sit up for that now. So if you can stay longer in whatever position you've chosen, then yeah, feel free to do so. You can just switch off this video. Or if it's time to move on, then just introducing a little bit of movement into your Shavasana, you're lying down. You might want to wiggle your fingers or take a stretch. And in your own time, just making your way up to a seated position, meeting those of us seated, closing the eyes. And just finding that sense of rootedness, that grounding through the sitting bones, grounded and connected, and then a rising up, an expansion upwards and outwards through the body. And then an imaginative expansion outwards to all of the other beings that are practicing with us today, from other parts of London, maybe even other parts of the UK and the world. And when you're ready, just opening your eyes. And bringing the practice to a close. So thank you everybody for practicing, for continuing to practice with us, or for starting to practice with us at the Buddhist Centre. We really appreciate all of you joining us. Thank you to Polly for doing our tech, and thanks to Shradagita for being a real live student. I miss having real live students. So thank you. So do consider making a donation to us if you feel so inclined. There's details of how to do that underneath this video. So we run on a culture of generosity where we give what we can freely. We are really, really grateful to those of you who are able to donate to us. So from next week we'll be running a week-long home retreat with lots of really, really brilliant events, including bodywork every day. So do consider signing up to that. That's on a donation basis as well. And there's details of how to do that underneath this video. So I think I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a lovely Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.